Alright guys, we are here. We are going into the penultimate episode of Arcane League of Legends, of the second season, the halfway point of the act, and, the final episode before we just go to shit, you know? We're at this point, and, it's been a crazy journey, it's been an experience. The start of the act, of course, episode 7 was very different, right? It was very different than what Arcane has been, will ever be, and it just felt so, familiar, in a way, Because we got our first big episode on Echo, which was really fun, and it makes me curious and also kind of worried for the future of this, because I have a lot of, I think, mixed feelings overall for episode 7. On one hand, I think it's one of the best episodes of Arcane. I think it's honestly one of the sweetest, most emotionally impacting episodes of the series. On the other hand, it makes me a little worried for the solutions to the actual series itself. Because while I really enjoyed what they pulled with Echo and Powder and everyone in that episode, I don't necessarily know if I like the direction they're going with it. With Echo, what I don't want, right, is I don't want Echo to, realize he's in love with Jinx as she is Jinx, and then somehow, in some way, Jinx realizes she's always been in love with Echo, and that somehow solves the problem. I think that's kind of what the big thing about episode 7 is that it is a reality, a possibility of a path that they could have gone down, The idea that, Powder and Echo could have reached this point, could have actually had this moment, would have been, it is part of the tragedy of it, and, obviously it's clear in this timeline that Echo probably did have a thing for Powder at one point. I don't think it's right to go down this path of them being in a love cycle here. Like I said, the big thing for me usually is just, we haven't had really much time with Echo in the story, and, well, I will say one thing. Episode 7 gave me respect for this man. Episode 7 made me truly respect Echo as a person for what he's doing. He is a cold, hard leader. He is a person that fully understands the weight of his responsibility to the city of Zorn, so much so that he gave up his dream. He gave up, the utopia of what the best potential for his life and his city, where Zorn and Piltover found peace, found somewhat of equality, were able to make, the streets an actual livable place, and everything, he had his best friend back, he had what was his partner, he had his father figure, he had all of it, but he's so dedicated to what he is now, he's so dedicated to who he is now, that he realizes it would not be taking responsibility at all to just live in this comfort forever, on top of taking the life of the Echo of this place that he's inhabiting. And that's kind of a big thing, right? The way to, describe it, the dance scene was beautiful, and I will say, I know that I kind of had a weird reaction to that, because, of the way they decide to animate it. My fucking computer's done that before. My computer has honestly gone at 6 frames a second, so that kind of did worry me while I was watching it, because I've had that choppy shit before. But I believe it was a stylistic choice, of course, and I think I've watched, because I've watched reactions, I've watched reviews, I've discussed the episode a little bit with people. I think that was going at the speed of the time machine. It was actually going at 4 seconds, or 4 frames, in a reference to the 4 second they reached, which was the stylistic choice of that scene. That's definitely really fun. But also, it kind of got hit that, the way it was described as, Echo is living in nostalgia for a life he didn't even live. And I think that's a really cool way to describe it, right? He feels nostalgic for what happened because he saw the potential he had to get to this point, because obviously there's a lot of butterfly effecting that happened outside of Echo's direct influence in episode 7, Vander and Silco making up, Milo and Clagger being able to fix Zorn, Powder realizing their potential, right? There is a lot there that he can't control, but there is a lot there he probably did feel and had to grieve that he lost. You know, Powder, whatever feelings he had for her, you know, he gets it all in this episode, and he almost, you know, you feel this sense of nostalgia for a life that you haven't even lived when it's all displayed in front of you what the outcome would have been. At the same time, for the viewer's perspective, it hits in a similar way, but in a very similar depressing way, because in a way you're mourning this character that that didn't even exist in Arcane. You know, you're mourning the person that is Powder, because this person, you know, that Powder would have molded into, who, you know, was pushed to realize her possibilities, you know, the effect she could have had on Zorn, the changes she could have made, you know, and the person she would have accepted herself as. You're in a state of, like, mourning this girl that we went so far off the path of even seeing her becoming so long ago. So it almost does, in a way, feel like you've lost someone, even though, you know, Jinx is the worst case scenario of the person that Powder is. You know, Powder, again, has died. Powder is long gone in the show. But through this episode, through connecting and feeling what she would have been like had things gone a little differently, it almost feels like you've lost something you never did in the first place, which is the same effect it would have on Echo. And that's why it feels so strong to have those scenes, you know, where he's going through, you know, asking Powder, you know, can we pretend like this is our first time? It's like he's getting that feeling of nostalgia from himself for something he never even had before. And it's a very, like, paradoxical thought process, but it's really cool. It's really interesting to see that, you know. I definitely can say that, like, I enjoyed that. I definitely enjoyed seeing Echo and Powder together in the episode, and, you know, might have been a little bit jealous. I mean, Powder and Jinx are hard as hell and really fun as a person. But, like, I don't know how much I would want something similar to that in Arcane, our series, because, you know, Powder is a character, you know, Jinx isn't a character so emotionally fucking destroyed that, you know, something like a realized love confession is not something that she would have, not something she's in the right healthy process to even consider, or even really comprehend what a relationship of any status even is anymore, you know? I mean, as per usual, is in Arcane, she's at the worst point in her life. She's fucking just lost. She just lost, you know, Isha. Again, another person that loved her, that Jinx directly influenced, and to my knowledge, you know, to my assumption here, she's not going to have any will. She's probably just going to fucking give up and go, you know, with Caitlyn to arrest her, because what, honestly, does she even have at this point? Not only did Isha and Vander die, but they died in such a PTSD triggering way, with her weapons, with the same items that caused the original explosion, the Hex Tech cause, that I don't see how a person like this could even function as a person after that, you know. And so I am really curious to see what's going to come of this, you know. If anything, from Echo's perspective on this, right, I assume he's going to possibly... I assume the big thing about the impact on the episode of episode 7 was to reignite hope in Jinx. I assume it's to try and make him process that there is still something in that girl that he knew. There is something, some combination of words that can click something in her to try and make her make up for the mistakes she's gone through at this point. But I don't want it to be as full-blown, you know, like, he's in love with her, she, through all the bullshit she's gone through, fell in love with him, and then that's it, you know. Like, I think that'd be a little too sappy for this timeline, you know. And that's another thing, is this season fucking sucked for Echo and Jace, you know. Not even counting what they've gone through in the last episode, they have literally missed so much time. Echo went from his conscience being in episode 3 to episode 7, and I think from that point, there's actually been a very large time skip in the actual series itself, you know, with it showed, like, the amount of time Jinx spent with Isha, you know, in Zorn, just having fun and building a true connection with her. How long's that actually been? 6 months? A year? You know, the timeline isn't as clear in Season 2 as it is in Season 1, but he's not just missing out on what he gave up in episode 7, he's just missed out on literally everything that's happened in Arcane as a whole. He hasn't even reunited with Violet yet. He hasn't even seen Violet since the failed negotiation on the bridge, for fuck's sake. Like, where the hell's that gonna go? You know? There are so many, like, connections, developments, character dynamics, and everything in this series, in this season, we haven't even gotten yet. And, again, that's the big thing about episode 7. Well, I think in a vacuum, it's incredible. It's a beautiful episode, honestly. It was just inappropriate for the amount of time we have left in the show. And, you know, at least I can say it's good. It's an incredible episode of the series, but it's just, there was not enough there. You know, there was not enough time with Echo there. Again, that's why I feel like the ship doesn't really work too well, because while I can see it happening, I'm not going to get involved in, like, or it's just, you know, in developed with a ship, with a character that has barely been in the show too much, especially in this season, when you pair them with, like, the main character, you know, it just, I don't really click that way for this, you know. If we saw more of Echo's attempts to try and revert Jinx, I think, if we got more of that in the second act of Arcane Season 1, because I don't even remember if he was in Act 1 at all either, or Act 2 in Season 1 either. I could see more of that probably, because I would know Echo more, but I just don't feel it with a character that hasn't been in the show much of anything here, you know. But it feels like here, Echo has something, an inkling, a plan, some idea on how to get through to this, you know, and it's going to be complicated again, because even as we've seen in the story, most of Zorn has actually united to the point to where even the fucking Firelights are, like, cheering Jinx on now. And that's Echo's operation. That's the you know, the gang that he's built. So how much is he actually coming off of here, and how much can he actually use properly to even get to Jinx anymore? It's going to be really interesting to see where we do go with that. And I'm really curious to see what's going to come, because both Jace and Echo reached a similar conclusion. They saw very different things, but reached the same conclusions, you know. Jace saw the apocalypse caused by his own hands. Echo saw a sanctuary, a utopia, his greatest dream ever, and came to a similar conclusion of what he thinks needs to be done in his own timeline. So, I'm really curious how far these two characters go. Obviously, Jace is now an obstacle more than anything else, because it seems like he's kind of foregone public safety in favor of actually wiping out what happened. Just being extreme in taking out the problems in the city, which are Hextech, seeing them as a disease that needs to be stopped. And Echo just, you know, has an idea to get Jinx back, you know, which is going to be really interesting. Again, if Riot ever wants to milk the fuck out of this IP, you know, of an extra series, you know, to continue on in Noxus, to continue, you know, Ambus's story in the future, Mel's story with the, you know, if the stuff with the, what was the organization called? The one that kidnapped Mel. The Black Rose? No, that's not it. What, you know, the thing, like, if they want to continue that in the future, I'm perfectly fine with that. But what I think really hurts is I would love a movie or a mini-series on last episode. I would love to see more of the detail of what happened in that episode, you know. The relationship with Vander and Jinx, which, again, my big thing about I think the biggest thing I have about Act 2 in Season 2 is that we didn't really get too much inner dialogue for how Jinx really considered Vander. We know exactly how the dynamic was with Violet and Vander in Season 1, but it felt a bit lacking for Powder and Vander and what their dynamic actually fully was. And I think we could have expressed and gone more into that in Act 2, was to just really see how Jinx considered Vander in comparison to, like, to Violet, Milo, Clagger, and Silco, you know. We didn't really get that. Episode 7 kind of painted that picture where, you know, they're really close. They're really close to see. For fuck's sake! Silco is an influence to Powder in that timeline. Like, Powder in that world has the influence of Benzo, Vander, fucking Silco, all in one. And I would love to see, like, how Silco, you know, beyond what he became in this show, like, when he never developed the hatred and the understanding of Vander, what his relationship and dynamic with Powder would have been like. I would genuinely give a lot to see, you know, not just focusing on Echo, but an entire, like, centric POV focusing on everyone in that world, just to see the dynamics. That would have been beautiful. Although the one thing that this show's kind of lacked on right now has been Savika. I mean, the fucking chick wasn't even in episode 7, for God's sake. The fucking, like, guy from episode 1 of season 1, the bar guy, you know, who threatened Vander, was in episode 7, and yet Savika wasn't? The fuck? This girl has honestly been forgotten in Arcane, I can't lie. That pisses me off a little bit. But yeah, it was just so cool to see. But again, concerns. An hour and a half at most left. Is that enough time to go through this? You know, Caitlyn basically betrayed Amberso in the last episode. We don't know exactly what the condition of everyone is, but that was a fucking 3 perfected hex core explosion in front of in front of a bunch of enforcers, basically in front of Jinx, of Caitlyn and Violet. Literally, Violet shielded Jinx with her body. Amberso was there. Everyone was there of importance. Even Jace, I think, was close. So we don't even know. Everyone could be half dead, for God's sake. You know, I feel like a lot of people should come up with a few mortal scars and wounds in that episode. You know, in this episode. But I just don't know what we're actually going to begin off of. You know, and I'm really curious and I'm really excited to see it. I think, and part of me right now is genuinely waffling because I'm still not really accepting the fact that this is almost done. You know. I'm almost done with Jinx, and, you know, the suck off episode 7 one more time. I think what really hit, and honestly, what's made me love Jinx even more as a person, and honestly made me feel a little worse about her as well, is the fact that I really, really loved Powder in that episode. And I think that's what really makes the character, the person of this blue-haired girl so incredible, is that I love her as Powder. I love her as Jinx. It doesn't matter what way we go in this, whether she goes in a timeline on an alternate universe where she grows into Powder, I love her. If we get a timeline where she becomes Jinx, I love her. So it kind of just, you know, it makes like episode 9 even more impactful when you realize that, like, either way, if she sat in that Jinx chair, if she sat in that Powder chair, I would have loved either one so well. And that's the big thing about when you get a season like Arcane Season 1, is you don't fully comprehend what kind of person Powder would have been had Jinx not existed. You got it here. And so it just makes it feel so much more like whole, but so much more tragic at the same time, because Jinx probably isn't coming out this season, if I'm being honest, you know. Her end game is probably death, and the girl that was Powder, who could have done so much in this world, is long past the point of coming back, you know. So it makes it so much harder to think that regardless of where we went, I would have, you know, that this character might honestly at this point be one of my favourites as a whole, ever, if we're being honest, because I'm counting now both Powder and Jinx together. I'm counting any direction this girl would have taken was peak as fuck. So it's so much worse to come into this, like this, you know? I think that's enough waffling. Let's just go into episode 8. To be perfectly honest, I could have fucking just added that into, like, episode 7's outro, but I already posted that video, so I can't even do that now. But yeah, I was gonna show this off in the final episode of the final video of the series, and I still probably will. But I'm probably going to record episode 9 anyway today as well. This will be the final recording day of Arcane. But we got the new shirt. I think it even feels a little more appropriate now with what happened in episode 7. You know, we got the monster you created, Arcane, League of Legends, fucking peak after episode 9. You know. It really goes into just the fuck-ass way this series went, and just how crazy all 3 of these female characters are. and how much all of it is at the center of this one. Like, this Jinx is a monster who's trying to learn even a simple part of, like, a simple part of humanity, a single part of positivity in her life, and it got fucking annihilated again. So who knows what's gonna come next. But guys, actually, you know what, I'm gonna cut. I don't even think, I've waffled so long, I don't even think I can do this whole video in one sitting now. Guys, we're gonna start episode 8 in a second, and we'll begin. Alright guys, episode 8. Fuck this show, I'm shitting myself right now. Let's do it. Alright, we're back to our roots. Rip Heimeldinger as well. I didn't even mention the poor lad, but yeah, rip him. Heimeldinger was nice, and it's such a shame Jace didn't even get to really see him much. Alright, Mel. That's another part of this goddamn show! Like, do we have time for Mel? What is even happening with Mel? Does she have magic? Is she absorbing or, like, unlocking magic? If she really is a oh, fuck me, she's a mage, isn't she? She's actually got inept magic power. She's got biological magic, hasn't she? And it's so crazy of the direction that Jace is going right now. She's not technically hextech, but she is magic. And how would Jace perceive that? What would Jace think
the moment, Melmadada.
Of that when he's with her?
Time like your first.
Melmadada, is that her full name?
I'm one of you. A mage.
I guess.
We each have our own expressions.
Oh, why you look like
Yours
Caitlyn?
is quite rare. An empath. Attuned to the ethereal.
No, she doesn't.
Able to sense others' inner selves and bend their magic. A conduit.
What?
And a mirror.
What does that make you? Even now you hide your true
Are there
face
different
behind
classes
illusions.
of mages in League of Legends?
Truth is the greatest illusion of them
Oh, that's freaky as hell.
I think beneath that mask you're scared. I can see through your tricks. That makes me a threat.
all. For the gifted, arrogance is the ultimate threat. Your power has merit.
This is
Why should one want you dead?
This has gotta
simple
be
blade
set up for another
mercy.
season. There's no way you can flesh this
Where
out
is
in
my
time.
brother?
Regrettably,
There's no
his
way.
fate wasn't among your mother's lies.
You
He
killed
is,
him.
he's gone.
I gave Ambessa every opportunity to atone for her transgressions. She chose pride over progeny.
I mean, that's
But you
her.
need not bear her crimes. The test. This whole charade. You want to recruit me?
Yeah, yeah, okay, so
talents
mommy's name is
develop
Amessa. I
quickly.
think I called her Ambassa.
It's no
Or something?
coincidence.
Amessa.
The Arcane is waking up.
What has my mother done?
A calamity is approaching.
What your mama does, fuck shit up.
rivaling even the ancient rune wars.
Ooh!
Ambessa sits at the helm, blinded by her thirst for
The
legacy.
ancient rune
Our efforts to
wars.
divert her course have
Another
founded.
thing you could make a show on,
We can't
honestly.
afford another failure.
This is what you see in me?
A calamity is approaching, rivaling even the ancient rune wars.
Like, I think it's a bit much for
Ambessa
this
sits at
show,
the helm, blinded by her thirst for legacy.
honestly.
Our efforts to divert her course have foundered. We can't afford another failure.
This is what you see in me?
Who would have thought your mommy
A
would be
silver
capable
bullet?
of all that?
I see salvation of your city, countless others beyond.
She's my mother. For all her faults, she has always done what she thought was best for the family.
And you love her, yeah, that's a mental
Your
problem.
brother thought so too, until he uncovered her secret. Your birth, the entire course of your life, was
You are
no
that
accident.
child, yeah, you are
She
a crazy
hid you
mage.
because you are that which she covets most. A weapon. Today, you've been born into a new family, from which you'll find there is sadly no return. Those untouched by the Arcane fear us.
Oh, that's freaky.
What is this?
A welcome to your future.
That is cool as hell, though. Definitely like the golden ascendance on her arms, though. That is really... That's a great design for Mel.
The world is a perilous place for a solitary mage. Sister.
Oh, sister, you killed my brother. Yeah, it's like, again, we're like building all this shit up with Mel all of a sudden as well. And we've still got these two! These two and Caitlyn! Oh, yo! Oh, I just noticed the ticking on Echo's person. That's really cool. And yeah, right after Victor fucking dies from like becoming an artificial mechanical mage with real innate powers, then Mel comes out as an actual biological mage. Like, wow, okay, cool, cool, cool. Would have loved to seen Victor interact with Mel like this. That would have been peak. Oh, the misery. Everybody wants to be my enemy. Spare the sympathy. Everybody wants to be my enemy. It is shocking by this point how many people this song could apply to. How many people could actually be in this mindset of everyone is just their fucking enemy. And of course it ends with J, so that also applies for. You know, back in like the actual cinematic song for an enemy, where it was in Jinx's POV, but it could have also applied to Violet. This season, it's everyone, every last one of them. So, alright, so they're still alive. Oh my god, dude, what? His body is preserved? Did no one, like, what? There were 3 hex core gems in that bomb! How are you all still walking? What is Caitlyn, Vi, and Jinx like? They were right at the epicenter of it. Well, Caitlyn wasn't.
That I couldn't save him. His injuries were too severe.
You brought Jinx back from
We do not lament
even
the
worse
warrior's
condition.
death. We
Bro,
avenge
you just didn't
him.
use the good shit on him. But don't lie. You gave Jinx the good shit. When everyone
What of
else is
their
getting
herald?
street level.
And the blood should sustain Victor for a short while.
What?
Beyond that, it is up to his own will.
You promised a cure to death.
An outcome dependent on Victor's survival.
Another character I don't think about like too often when in discussions, but like Singe's endgame as well. What are we doing with that?
Doctor, your ingenuity deserves praise.
Victor,
A cocoon symbolizes evolution, of course,
Grateful.
so it makes
The world
sense.
I
He's
now see
improving.
Is more lucid than ever.
You can inhabit your followers.
We are one.
They're a hive mind. That's
in the
creepy.
glorious evolution.
Oh my god, that is
All
freaky.
could have been. I sense my twilight approaching.
Your twilight approaching. That is
Anomaly festers
sick.
beneath the hex gates.
I lit
It has the capacity to complete the Doctor's transformation.
like an actual
This will allow you
multiversal
to-
entity.
Evolve others?
In theory. But Jace's attack has done its work. I do not have the strength to overcome the defense he will raise against me.
I will deliver you to this anomaly.
Yeah, of
if you
course you
agree
will.
to empower every soldier I bring you.
I will evolve all those willing.
Got anything to say on that, girl? That's the thing about Victor as well. Like, he doesn't want to kill, but he's honestly, like, how far he's lost himself in the madness of his pursuit. It's kind of same thing. Like Victor and Jace are going through the same thing right now. They're losing themselves in their goals, and you don't know how far like this can go for Victor. Oh, he's still okay. Even Jace is good, but like connecting everyone, linking everyone, and becoming everyone—that's not evolution, man. That's something worse. Yep. Gone. To the void. You literally shielded Jinx, so you should be way worse off than her. Dude, this season just loves using her. Oh, hey!
Loris?
I expect
I'm
Loris!
sure you'd pull through.
I expected so much more of this
Think
guy
that
this
thick
season.
noggin of yours.
I honestly thought he was gonna be like the Vander Rolfavine this season until we got actual Vander.
Where are the others? Kate? Jinx?
Jinx,
Jinx is taken for
Caitlin
sure.
wanted to be here to tell you herself.
Loris.
I mean, she blew
Spit
up.
it out.
She blew up Stillwater though, didn't she? No way they got that back running.
Maybe we can negotiate.
Not with Ambessa. I saw it in her eyes. She will burn
Oh, it is
herself to
Ambessa.
the ground for my betrayal.
You can't blame yourself.
I don't need consolation. I need a plan.
Arrested?
What do you think was gonna happen?
Check on my father.
You do remember who the fuck Jinx is, right?
Vi.
She saved your life.
If you will just calm
And
down
killed
for
her
one-
mother.
Even knowing you'd never have done the same for her.
We'll never know, will we? You didn't let me in on that part of your plan.
Clearly the right call, since you still can't trust her enough not to shove her in a box.
She killed her
I'm
mother!
so daft I can't recognize a contingency. She wasn't there for my benefit. She was there because you didn't trust me to follow through.
Can you blame me? How long were you sidled up with that shifty, self-serving war pig? She oinked poison in your ear and you just ate it.
I know.
Damn. But she got out of it.
The only thing Jinx cared about was getting you to safety. Then she just surrendered. I didn't even have time to think before they hauled her off. She's being held in the bunker while I
Yeah, she has no
decide what to do.
nothing.
I was waiting for you to recover.
No fight left at all.
Kate, she's changed.
You can't erase our mistakes. None of us.
Who decides who gets a second chance?
But it's the fact that, like, Caitlyn's not even, like... She's not even letting her hatred for Jinx show. This woman took her mother and she's not even, like... She's not even, like, showing rage at that. You bringing food to her? Oh my god, yeah. That's an appropriate prison. But I get the feeling she's just like... she's not even eating. She's just
If you're
laying
here
there.
to kill me, make sure to finish the job. Vi thinks you've changed.
She can't accept what you and I know. There are
Oh my
no
god.
happy endings.
Dude, she's scratching
Is that all you have to
herself.
say for yourself?
Dude, show me her hair.
There won't be a
Show
trial.
me her face.
I'm giving you this one chance to account for your actions. All the pain you've caused.
She's literally just, like, bleeding from there.
No amount of good deeds can undo our crimes.
She doesn't care. She
Do
just...
what you came here to do.
Hating you. I've hated myself. I just don't have the energy for it any longer.
And that's why you two, like, are
I
so
didn't know your mom was there.
similar.
It probably wouldn't have made a difference, but I didn't know.
Yeah. That's the thing, she accidentally killed 2 people that night. Both parent figures, her own and yours. And that's why you two work so well. You understand so much loss. you understand so much why the other is the way they are, and you both, like, blame yourselves, you know? Caitlin failed to apprehend and stop Jinx that night, and she fucking killed her own dad as a result. Then she killed your mama, so you've got that as well. And now neither of you have the strength to even fight anymore. Like, Jinx, she's lost her family 4 fucking times. 4 times! Season 1 ending, Vanda and Isha. All again. It's just so... It's not unexpected to get Jinx like this, but it's still so hard to see her like this at the same time. Like, you don't process how it'll be until you get it. Oh my god, you're just there. Yeah, how many council... Is Mel the only one alive now? Hi. It's your mummy, your magic mummy now.
Jace?
Hi.
What happened to you?
It's been a while. A lot. A lot happened.
Doesn't matter.
Something happened to me, too.
You're the reason we didn't die in the attack.
Apparently so.
How long have
Really?
you known?
It started then.
So what, her magic
Feelings I
unlocked?
couldn't explain. But this,
Did she use
I still don't fully
a
understand.
shield or something? Is Mel a tank in League of Legends? Is she like a
Why just
defensive
me?
character?
Why not save all of them?
It wasn't a decision. One moment you're addressing the council and the next we're standing in rubble. I didn't have any greater awareness.
How can I know you aren't lying to me?
Why would you think I am?
Because you used me and Victor for Hextech. You called us investments.
Two brilliant young inventors who shared a penchant for impossible surprises, carried magic from myth to machine, rallying the whole of the nation.
Interesting. Is his weapon reacting to Mel's magic? Throw that thing away, man. What the hell?
Allow us a moment of civility, Jace.
Victor. What the hell even is that? What are you?
Victor. How did you get in here?
You're not even surprised.
Once benefited from my knowledge of this place.
That was a long time ago.
Had you given me the chance, I would have shown you the merits of my work. Our work.
No. This is your obsession. Everything you've done to these people, you did alone.
Oh my god. He's not even, like, that's not even a human anymore, is it?
But I'm alone no longer.
Is that really a...
I now
Was
speak
that...
with all their voices.
Was that really a person?
Say what you came here to say.
Somehow I think you already understand what must transpire to complete my mission. I would prefer to do so in peace. The Noxian has other intentions.
Mother?
Yes. Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, that's a shield. She's got to be some kind of defense girl in the game.
Victor, for all our sakes, stay away from the Hex Gates.
Even the core itself is like mutated.
Your mind has become rigid, Jace. Fear clouds your judgment. This chain of events
Experience
started with you.
clears his judgment. Oh god. Oh my god.
Fusion, I was unable to reconcile this.
There's no way he gets control of Jace.
The glorious evolution is destined. Let us instead do this once again as partners.
The fall off is actually painful.
Died in this room.
It was my sincere desire to avoid this.
Like of all things I'd get from season 2, I never thought I'd get Jace and Victor as enemies. Like, you know, the other two, sure, you know, the blue and the pink one, yeah, but these two, no. That is insane. That hurts. What are you seeing? Oh, I'm telling you, you need to blow that weapon up, man. It's not even from this reality. Ooh. Ooh! Combo attack! Let's go! What is this? It's like magic can actually legitimately hurt him. I can't tell, like, was that really a person he changed, or was that like an object he took over? What did you learn?
Doctor, you may begin the process.
Alright, well, he gave Singe the go-to. Did you just throw a fucking hex core at her? Silco.
Go away. You're too late.
Oh, it's a hell of a place. It says something about the late Marcus that he found imprisoning your sister to be a greater mercy than killing her.
Killing isn't mercy.
A spark of rebellion still burns inside that husk, I see.
No.
Killing is a cycle. One that started long before Vanda and me, and that will continue long after the two of you.
I'm done running in circles.
We build our own prisons. Bars forged of oaths, codes, commitments, walls of self-doubt and accepted limitation. We inhabit these cells, these identities, and call them us.
Yes.
I thought I could break free by eliminating those I deemed my jailers. But Jinx, I think the cycle only ends when you find the will to walk away.
Oh, the chills of these two. Oh, gross.
Jinx?
But still. Dude, that tool is so good.
What are you doing?
I swiped these from the guard station.
Oh my, oh no.
Use all
Oh my
explosive potential
god.
of yours for good. Maybe we could rewrite your story like you did with Zahn. What do you think?
You're
Sure, Vi.
Dude, there is just nothing in those eyes. There is no fight, no anger, no...
You're never gonna give up on me, are you?
Of course not. She's your sister.
Hey!
You don't have to worry about me anymore. You don't
She's
need
just
to feel
gonna leave.
guilty about being happy.
You deserve to be with her.
Wait!
She's gonna leave, isn't
There's
she?
no good version of me.
What are you gonna do?
Break the cycle.
Jinx!
Okay. Well, you better not be implying the end, man. I fucking swear. You get it, though, because she's just done. Like, she
Sorry.
genuinely has nothing to fight for anymore.
I've been an idiot.
You know, Violet has
Mess.
people. Violet's not gonna be
You're hurting
alone without her. But she has no will to fight for anything
For as long
now.
as I can recall, I have chased the archetype of a Madada. I believed it my calling, to merit the blood in my veins. It was all a lie. This blood is alien to me.
It looks
Yet
really cool,
this
though.
dictated the course of my entire life. I'm no more than a passenger. A life I spent in self-pity. Now it's gone. I can never return to it.
I've been confused about a lot lately.
Those scars.
But there's one thing I know in my bones. There is no force in this world that can control you. You will never be a passenger.
Okay. What are we doing here? Thing I heard Jinx muttered in there. God, where's Caitlin's? Hi! Hello!
Quiet.
Where the fuck do you come from?
Forgive me, but we don't have much time.
Oh my god!
A storm is coming.
You look incredible!
The likes of which Piltover, perhaps Runeterra itself, has never faced.
That looks fucking epic! Dude, that attire is peak as hell on him.
This creature infiltrated the very room you're standing in, and we barely survived. Hundreds more are on the way. The Noxian general is leading them. This isn't a fight for ideals or territory. It's a fight for humanity itself. I'm asking, no begging you, every one of you, top side and bottom, to aid us in this coming war. And it will be a war.
That's a lot to ask for people you've not even made
This isn't a fair request,
you've not even made an
but it is
attempt
our
to
only
make
hope.
peace with yet.
The forces against us are too great. We need every hand we can get.
There's one episode left for this. How far are we? We're decently far in this episode.
We're
but,
abandoning the city's outskirts to stage our defense at the Hex Gates. The final bastion of our salvation. If you choose to flee, don't stop running.
This low-key
But
feels
I'm
like the
choosing to
ending
fight.
of Star, with just how insanely
And I
high,
pray that you will join me.
like, the fucking stakes went from, like, the start of the season. Really? Even Savika, huh? Not gonna help? Yeah, to go from, like, you know, the political issues of Zorn and Piltover to fucking fighting like an arcane, damn near cosmic force that is Victor? Like, what in the hell? What the fuck? Bro, not where I thought we'd go in Arcane at any point. Not in this scene, not in this central focus. And are we like alluding that like Jinx might unironically be like the key factor to helping? Will he finally meet? Well, sorry. Will she finally meet like Jace? They've never met before. There's a follower. Fighters, huh? Ooh, chills. And Ambassador. I think I just said Victor before, but you know, him and Ambassador. Isn't this how you two just first met?
Had a feeling I might find you here.
Deja vu.
I really believe she'd help. Say it. You told me so.
I was an idiot to trust her. I went behind your back. I choose wrong every time. And because of it,
I mean, you can't blame
everyone.
yourself, though, you know? Even Jinx realizes you haven't lost everyone.
You really think I needed all the guards at the Hex Gates?
Kinda, but, you know.
Sorry to say, you've grown a bit predictable.
God damn. Ain't you dating that ginger girl now? Ah, fuck it, who cares? Bro, you might as well just fucking go at it in this cell right here.
Listen,
I was joking.
while you were gone, I saw someone.
Kate.
Just still seeing someone.
I don't fucking care.
Okay then. Oh, get fucked, ginger girl. She was a hella Violet fan as well. Oh my god, dude, I was joking. Like, at least take it to the bedroom. Holy fuck, the cell. Just right there and then. When did she get that tattoo? When did I remember? Did she have that in season 1? Dude, the muscle on Vi compared to Caitlyn is crazy. I'm like fucking envious. Will do I have to start censoring? I don't know if I can get this all on YouTube, guys. Holy fuck. Alright, yeah, keep going lower. Keep going lower. I'm not even sure what she's sucking right now. Yeah, I didn't quite expect that level in Arcane. It wasn't like actually naked or, you know, it wasn't ecchi. But you, for the moment, you fucking had me. You actually had me thinking we were gonna go that far. And I wasn't gonna say no. My only concern was, fuck, I gotta edit. Although, yeah, that does kind of, like, fuck both of you, because unironically, you know, Caitlyn has been seeing the other girl, but whatevs.
You're alive.
I know about the Black Rose.
It was the Black Rose.
You know a facade. They're nothing but lies.
You taught me the best lies come wrapped in truth. What really happened to Kino?
Your brother was struck with curiosity. He got caught in their web and with every action grew more deeply entangled.
So you let him die?
Damn!
I carried him in my belly, nursed him from my bosom. He was all the sweetness in my heart. For that they took him, carved into me a wound that will never close. I pray you never suffer the agony of being forced to forsake one child to save another.
And to be honest, you
should
feel
have come to me.
You do feel the pain she has right now.
Impossible, intolerable.
Despite how much of a
did what you
warmonger
could
she
not.
is, you
For you,
feel she
for the
fucking
family.
cared about those kids.
Piltover has nothing to do with your feud. Board your boats. Leave our shores. I will join you. We can avenge Kino together.
Fair enough.
This is more than vengeance, child. These mages dangle over our heads a sword that impales us should we rise too high.
What even are
Their
those?
very nature violates the most core of Noxian principles. That every one of us is equal on the battlefield. That through cunning, sweat,
Man, that's some
and
weird,
skill,
like, magic item shit.
we shape our destiny.
That looks cool.
The fact you've come to parley for your friends' lives prove you still lack the wrath necessary to defeat an enemy like the Rose. I found another way.
You can't, like, you can't do this in one episode.
An
act minimum.
Never fear death.
That looks scary as hell.
What have you done, Mother?
Like, made a perfect blend of, like, magic and shimmer.
Doctor, you may begin the process.
Oh, that is creepy.
Very well.
Oh, it's so much worse. Like, Vander's corpse is, like, involved too. This is such a weird process.
I guess this is goodbye.
Really?
Thank you very much for your company in my solitude, Miss Young.
I hope you made peace with her after you fucking killed her.
I will miss our talks.
No. You won't.
Oh. Interesting dialogue. No, he won't, huh? I'm sorry, what in the fuck? What's weird to me is how preserved the body is. Like, how was he even still in that hole? And then you just memories burning, erasing, and then you go and do that, and then like kill me again. And you unironically go and fucking do that. Whoa! That is creepy. And he's got a perfect body now. Okay then. What the hell? I think this episode's actually a bit shorter than the other ones. Yeah, it's like 38 minutes. What the hell? Like, what the fuck are we even... How's there one episode left? Honestly. How is there one episode left of this? I am struck silent by the fact there is one episode left of Arcane. And there was barely any, like, Jinx is like gone. Jinx is actually fucking gone. Not dead, thankfully, but like, just done. Even Echo wasn't in that episode! I just realized! Even Echo wasn't in that episode. What the fuck? this is kind of crazy. This is actually pretty crazy indeed. Oh boy. This is not where I thought we'd end Arcane off when we started Season 2 at all. We are reaching that point, you know? We are reaching that fucking point where, we did it. One episode to go. And we're done. And the story of Piltover and Zorn, and, you know, all of the, you know, storylines that go along with that are going to be gone. And whatever Riot continues to do in Arcane will come about. Because I'm, like, pretty sure there's around, like, I think there's over, like, or close to 100 fucking characters, champions in League of Legends. So, you know, this isn't even, like, covering, like, this is barely even covering 1% of that in this series. And I imagine they do want to have stories of other people. But, like, you know, we've reached a point where we're about to end what is this in Arcane, you know. This story... This is going to be crazy. You know, we got a lot of crazy peak stuff in here, you know. Violet, Caitlyn, I mean, that's not really a shocker or anything. What's really a shocker is they actually confirmed on screen and almost just went ahead and animated them banging. I'm sure an animator or two has got the full unabridged version of that on their PC somewhere. We got this war, you know. Now, I'll definitely say when I went into Season 2, I didn't think this is where we were going with it. I didn't think we were gonna fucking reach a point where, like, Jace is trying to unite Zorn and Piltover together to actually fight, like, a near, like, divine entity that is Victor. I didn't think we were gonna go down a route where, unironically, Zorn and Piltover would have a common enemy to actually face, and that's how we would resolve, like, the conflict between those two were not through, like, actual negotiation and understanding. It was basically through a survival tactic, basically through a desperation attempt to actually stop this, this near unstoppable force, right? Like, that does feel kind of crazy. But I am curious what this is going to mean, right? I am curious what this is going to do for the rest of our series, for our story. Again, first scene in Arcane we ever saw was the conflict, and we've been building from that for a long time now, you know, from Act 1 to, you know, to Act 2, you know, to Violet wanting to, you know, cause war, to fight in Act 1, to Silco basically wanting the same thing, to Act 2 when we see that Silco's moved his methods to other means to actually fight for Zorn's independency, to Season 1's finale where Jinx fucking actually basically declared war by attacking and, you know, blowing up the council, to this point where, you know, we're not even talking about a war between Zorn and fucking Piltover anymore. We're basically talking about a war between the section of Noxus that Mbess is currently carrying, and Victor, and, like, this arcane biblical deity, and it's definitely a different direction, but it is still the inkling of war that we've been showing, and obviously you get from that, like, this is not going to be a good episode, not in the sense that, like, we're going to get a good finale or anything. We're going to get a fucking blood finale, we're going to get a bloodbath, we're going to get a point where, you know, people are fucked, our emotions are fucked, and, you know, with the rare exception, probably, of Mel, who I think does have the most potential in Arcane to make it out. She has the most potential, I think, at this point, to be the gateway that leads into more of the expanded lore of League of Legends, because she has connections to Noxus, to other lands, to people. She's just reached that point of, like, discovering who she is as a mage. She's the most versatile character to use outside of Piltover to branch into more expansions of this world, of this continuity and universe. Outside of Mel, everyone's probably up for death. Everyone's on the chopping block. Everyone has, I think, as much chance of the other to die, with varying levels to it. You know, obviously, like, that there are certain characters that probably are more destined than others. You know, unfortunately, the big blaring one right now is fucking Jinx. You know, that scene was absolutely, like, ball-wrecking, that scene of just, you know, her seeing Silco, probably for the final time, showing, like, her perceiving his final wisdom in his head, you know, of breaking the cycle, of this cycle will never stop, of this cycle, you know, is just a part of nature. It existed long before Vander and himself, it will exist long after Vi and, you know, Jinx's tale is over. Her trying to break that cycle, you know, her trying to break the cycle that she's been under for this entire story, basically, you know. What that's actually going to mean, where she's literally just going to crawl up in a hole and just wait there, you know, just accept who she is, accept that everyone she sees is brought to ruin, or she goes down a darker route, right, of death and of intentional suicide. I really don't want that, obviously, and it feels right now that Echo is going to be the interesting one to do this, because we did, you know, episode 7 again really brought the idea that, like, there is something in the person that he knew. There is a small linger of powder in her that he might try and break towards. Which, again, it's going to be interesting, right? Because, again, I don't know how I'm expecting really that scene to go. They've made it abundantly clear right now that Echo is going to see Jinx again at some point, and he is going to have some kind of revelation with her. Again, I don't know what we're going to get with that, because, as I've said, Echo's not really in the story too much. I expected much more of him in this season than what we've had, and in general, Echo is a character they more so tell the story of in the visuals, in the animation, rather than the story itself. You know, you get stuff like the bridge scene in Season 1, which is one of the best scenes probably artistically, where they show, you know, the stuff that happened with him and Powder, you know, and how what was once a literal game of theirs when they were children became real, you know, it literally became them fighting each other to the death with real weapons and real intentions. You have it in the enemy video, which I actually didn't rewatch, because I don't think it's actually been released anywhere. I don't think the enemy, the soundtrack or the video itself is actually on the Blu-rays or anything. I don't think Riot or Netflix put it on anything actually purchasable, so I think the only way you can even watch Enemy is just to get it on, like, the shitty YouTube compression quality, so there is no true 4K version of that song. But it does have a lot of implications to, obviously, Powder and Echo in that, right? But investment-wise, it's gonna be interesting to see this, because, again, this is a character that, for more purposes than not, has not been on screen a lot in this story. Yet his use seems to be actually breaking the cycle that Jinx has been in for such a long time now, and actually getting her to do something, right? Because we have played, you know, it's been a point in this story right now that Jinx's reputation has kind of been seen as a hero of Zorn. She's been seen as, like, a literal symbol, what Silco kind of wanted to be himself, and what he kind of wanted Jinx to be. He wanted a symbol of unity for Zorn. Jinx is kind of got that now, and it feels like it's going to be Echo that's going to make her realize that potential, and realize that is her way of amending things, you know, breaking the cycle in a way that doesn't just involve crawling in a cave or actually killing herself, but actually trying to be what Zorn is perceiving her as right now, even if she doesn't perceive it herself. Break the cycle by going in a 180 direction, break it by actually joining up and being the key difference in this war, and being, you know, the piece that is not accountable, because, you know, as cheesy as it sounds, you can't really account for chaos, you can't really account for the unpredictable that is Jinx, and, you know, good side, bad side, conflict is probably going to be thrown awry in Jinx's presence, you know, and it's kind of curious of, like, he's going to try and get her to become, like, an official Firelight member for the final episode, to join up with the Firelights, as they're also another faction technically in this that hasn't been brought up yet, to actually assist in whatever the fuck's gonna go on with this war of Victor and everyone else, you know. So that's gonna be interesting to see where that's gonna go with them. Again, I just imagine a lot of what they had in mind for Echo and Jinx in general comes from League of Legends itself. Because, you know, again, avid person, no idea what the fuck League of Legends actually does with its story or its implications. I do imagine there is some stuff in there with Jinx and Echo that they tried to build in this season. And I'm curious what it is, what the dynamic is in the game, if they really are, you know, implied to be together. if they are implied to be something else, more of just a chaotic banter duo. The story gave us a direction of what Powder and Echo would be like in this, but not Echo and Jinx. You know, that's a completely different kind of story, and that might be one thing I do look up when I finish this, is just what characters are actually important to in relation to the others in this story in regards to the game. I think that's going to be fun to look at some point. But you've got that, you know, dynamics. You've obviously got Caitlyn and Jinx. You know, you've got Caitlyn and Jinx. Violet and Jinx, and what they're going to be like. How exactly, you know, it's going to go down when Violet and Caitlyn actually see Jinx come back, if she does come back, you know, to actually assist. That has been an unfortunate thing, I will definitely say, about Season 2, is the way that it has been paced, which is a lot faster, I think, than Season 1. A lot of the character revelations, a lot of the character dynamics that I want to see has been cut. You know, as I said, we don't even have Echo and Vi yet, and we can get that next time, sure, but we haven't even had, like, Echo and Violet actually interact since Season 1. The last time that she saw him was when he got fucking shot, I think, when he got betrayed on the bridge deal with Marcus, and that's a horrible way to end things with them. And it's not possible anymore, unfortunately, but like I said, if I do have to critique some things, it's that I wanted more of the dynamics we would actually see. I think slower pacing would have definitely worked at certain points, because a big thing about Season 1 was just its relationships, you know, when the plot and the dynamics calmed down a little bit, and just we got to see people talking, you know, Caitlyn experiencing things from Echo and Violet's perspective, the reuniting with Little Man and Violet, you know, just these things that actually meant a lot, you know, and it feels like we're not even going to reach those points here anymore, because there's just not enough fucking time. You know, but on top of that, Jace, I mean, yeah, we know Victor's probably gotta die, and I wouldn't be surprised if he went out in a burning glory, if Jace sacrificed himself to stop Victor and end the cycle they both create together, the Hextech cycle. Caitlyn and Violet, I have no fucking clue. Honestly, you know, they definitely have potential to die. I don't think both of them are going to, but definitely one of them could, you know. I almost feel like it's inevitability that one of the sisters does die, be it Jinx or Violet. Because if Jinx dies, if Jinx dies, Violet's gonna live. If Vi dies, Jinx is probably gonna live. But I have no idea when it comes to both of those two as a duo. It almost feels like, of the duos we have, at least one of them's gonna survive each, but I don't know exactly what that is gonna entail, you know. But this has been kind of, you know, this has been foreboding. This has definitely been a fucking crazy experience to actually get to this point, to start this war, you know, to prepare for this war, to see Jinx herself. I mean, fucking hell. This girl was a walking corpse. This girl was not even someone that has fight in her. This is a girl that is moving for the sake of it now, you know. We actually got something shocking. The apology, for God's sake. You know, we got Jinx apologizing to Caitlyn in the most Jinx way that she possibly can. You know, not outright saying I'm sorry, not outright saying, you know, it wouldn't have stopped what she did, but admitting that, you know, she just didn't know really what she was doing at that moment. She didn't know or really think about why she even fucking fired at the council themselves. She just did it because it's what her emotions told her to do at that point. You know, she didn't know anyone that Caitlyn knew or cared about was in that room at the time, but at the same time, that wouldn't stop her, you know. It's just something that, at this point, to her, feels like a happy accident, something that is as usual, a representation of the lives and the families that she destroys, you know. And since Caitlyn matters Caitlyn matters to Violet in a weird, twisted way, in some way or shape and form, Caitlyn does matter to Jinx, and that's just how it fucking went, and, you know, we reached that point, which was crazy. But this has definitely been cool. This has definitely been worrying, you know, like I said, one episode to go. I hope we do get a longer episode, because sometimes shows do that in the end, for their final episodes and whatnot, but we're gonna see, you know, we're gonna see. A lot of questions, a lot of answers are gonna come next time, because they have to. And we're gonna see what the end of this franchise is. Well, not franchise, possibly, but we're gonna see what the end of this storyline in this location is, right? And it's gonna be an experience. I don't know what kind of one, but it's gonna be an experience in of itself. So guys, thanks for watching this video, episode 8. penultimate finale time. And I'll see you next time when we actually end Arcane's journey of Jinx and Violet and everyone in between for good. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.